Right, guys, this is a very special one because myself and Eilidh, my fiance and business partner, which is funny to say. I used to say partner, and I feel that sounds very, very official, but my fiance have been traveling now for coming up to 1 year. Was it the 12th of November that we set off
I'm not gonna
2024?
lie, I can't remember the exact
I
date.
can't remember. Anyway, we're currently on the 28th of October, so we're getting there right now. So we thought, why not put together an episode where we essentially ask each other a load of questions that we don't actually really know. I've got some questions here. Eilidh's got some questions, and we're just going to run through essentially everything that we wish we knew, we didn't know, what we've learned about uprooting their entire life, selling all of our belongings, and essentially becoming full-blown digital nomads. But before we get into that, make sure that you've hit subscribe to the channel. Enjoy. What did you underestimate most?
Ooh, that is a hard question to start off with, and at the deep end. Probably at the beginning, just how hard it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, I thought we were going to just come away and it was just going to be the dream. It was going to be pure easy. I remember that first week being in Dubai and being like, this is quite lonely when we were in Dubai. So we did 2 weeks in Dubai and then we came out here to Bali. And my phone wasn't working outside of the apartment, so you were away socialising. You'd met a guy, Collie, at the pool. You went and did a podcast. Lewis and Amy were about. You were away meeting Lewis. And I felt pretty isolated being in the room alone all day working. I was like, this is a bit shit. And then we got to Bali and I just felt all aggravated. We were all out of sync, out of routine. And I remember, I think we'd been in Bali for a day actually telling you to fuck off and I was going home. I think I just underestimated how hard it was going to be adapting to a new routine and a new environment. I think I was like, we've been to Dubai before, we've been to Bali before, it's going to be cushy, and it really wasn't when your whole life's in a suitcase and it's kind of a forever thing. I think that I probably didn't realise maybe how scared I was about doing it as well.
Yeah. I think when you've done something so much, you think it's just going to be like that. But I say this to clients regularly, like when they say, I've done a month of sobriety before. Why is it so hard this time around? Now, the time they may be doing it around this time, they might be actually choosing to go teetotal. I'm like, yeah, you've done 4 months, 3 months, 6 months of not drinking, but there was an end date on that. Whereas now this is actually a new way. And I think when you actually commit to this like new way, you're like, this is different. Even though I've been to some of these countries, even though I've spent time abroad, even though I've worked remotely before, this is totally different. Like very, very different.
What
I
about
would
you?
say underestimated how much we were probably just relying on things to happen because we had a really good routine in place for a relationship, for things to happen, just everything. Because when you are literally living out of a suitcase, when you're jumping to and from places, you're having to reset every single time. And there's something about that that's like really, really fulfilling, but it also really highlights that the things that you're not being intentional with and the things that you are being intentional with. And as you said, it is lonely because every time you go somewhere, you have to build new relationships and new connections. And this will probably bring me on to some other points when we kind of get into it more, but like that's probably why we like coming to places now that we're like, right, we know where food is. We know where restaurants are. We know where the gym is. We know some people there, because actually, like, I'm all about traveling and building relationships, but like, it can be very lonely if you're not someone that's quite outgoing to go and meet other people. And then if you're not in a space, because see places like Dubai, it's good for networking if you're there for a prolonged period of time. But if you're only there for a few weeks at a time, it's very lonely. It's a big city and everyone's just passing each other. It's like a lot of these places that are really busy aren't actually super amazing for connecting with people. Any places that we've met the best people and built the best connections are the places where people are deliberately there doing the same thing.
Yeah. I think as well, like where it's really grown me is you were always really good at putting yourself out there to meet new people, as whereas I was always more like, I've got my pals, they're my people. I don't need anyone else. So it really forced me to grow in that way. But it's also been hard then that every time that you get somewhere and you meet new friends, you're like 4 weeks later, a month later, however long you're there for, you're like, bye, see you later. And a lot of people are coming and going as well, especially places here like in Bali. So you make a really good friend. Like, for example, I met a really nice Russian girl here. And right now she's back in Georgia. She's not going to be back here till February. And we're leaving here at the end of February. And I'm like, I'm literally not going to see her again for months. I was talking to her the other day. Like, we're still keeping up connections, which is nice. But I'm like, it's quite sad to think, and I know it's the same with friends back home, but it's every time you move, you're like, oh, I need to start relationships all over again, which is nice as well. It's exciting because you get to meet so many different people, but at the same time, it can be quite sad leaving places sometimes as well.
And it can make you, we joke about like every time you're like, I don't want to go there to the next place. Like, so
I don't want to come back to Bali this time.
And Eilidh's like, now we might actually stay here for really long. So it's just amazing that like every time you go to a different space or an environment, how much it forces you to look through a different lens and get a newfound appreciation for something. And one thing that I definitely learned is that you can go somewhere and have a totally different experience just by the accommodation that you're in. Mm-hmm. So see that people can go for city breaks, they can go on holidays, and if their accommodation is in a place that doesn't suit their needs and lifestyle, it can make the full place totally different. Last time we were here, we were actually, I think I'm done with Bali, but actually our accommodation was down an alleyway where there was dogs that barked at us every time we went out. It was in an area where we would walk, but like what we're doing now is we're driving to places to walk, which is better, but then we were going walks from where we lived, which wasn't actually that nice because you were straight onto a main road. And then we had to go over a congested road to get to the gym. It was the same when we were in Cyprus. The same, like we realized when we were in Cyprus, like when we got that bigger villa, we were like, we miss space.
Yeah.
Like we've went from having a nice big home in Scotland to living in apartments now. Why don't we actually just spend a bit more money and get a nicer place? So
it's kind of what forced us to come back to Southeast Asia because it's a lot more affordable out here.
You can get a lot more bang for your buck. Like what we pay here for accommodation here, yeah, it's not cheap and it's like a shiny price tag and it's a lot more than what we were paying back home. But if we were to pay for a villa like that on temporary lease, it wouldn't be the price it is here. That place we've got right now is like 2.3k a month. Like, yeah, my mortgage back home was like £700 a month, and then obviously your bills and stuff. Like, it wasn't as much as that. But to get the villa that we have, a 3-bed villa with a pool, massive open area downstairs, cleaner coming multiple times a week, like you'd be talking like, I don't know, like $6,000 money. Like it's insane. So it's made me really realize what I need. That's probably the biggest thing right there. What have you missed?
Nando's. My best friend Carly.
Miss Sky.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that you miss Sky. Our parents as well, like just being able to go over and visit them and see them. You definitely have to be a lot more intentional, especially over this side of the world with the time difference of making a point of FaceTiming and messaging, because if not, it can be quite easy to just get out the swing of talking to people and get caught up in your own wee bubble of life. And I think we met, I can't even remember who it was that we were speaking to, and they said that when you live a life like this, it can actually be quite easy to get disconnected from your family. If you're actually, so it was Liam, because he's away back to Ireland just now to see his family and kind of make sure that he's building on those relationships. So definitely friends, family. My best friend Carly, she had a wee baby just after we committed to doing this as well. So that was quite hard as well, not being there for Sophia, being born, seeing her growing up.
Yeah.
What about you?
Sky.
Apart from Sky.
Sky. Sky's my parents' dog, by the way, just in case you're wondering who Sky's is, but she's like our baby. And now I would say I'm an only child, and definitely my parents. I really value. I've got a really good relationship with my mum. I'm really grateful for that. But kind of on the flip side of that, like they were here last week. They were here for 10 days, and then they were here for a week, and then in Bali for a week. Then we went to Thailand with them for a few days, and we stayed there a bit longer, and then they left. What it's really made me realize, and I actually shared a bit of this in my Instagram stories, is gratitude for relationships. I think when you're in the same place, in the same situation, in the same environment, you take time for granted. And when I'm always going to different places, and I look at time so differently now, like I'm 32 next month, and I've never been so hyper aware of time in my life. We went to Vietnam 7 years ago, 2018.
I think it was 8 years ago.
2018, sorry. It was 7, 8 years ago. In that same time horizon, I'll be 40. It's mad. I'll be 40 years old in that same time horizon. That wasn't even that long ago. And that awareness of aging and getting older and that effect of your experience of time shortens as your time on earth gets bigger, because when you were 1, a year was your entire life, but when you're 30, it's a year is 1/30th of your life, and then when you're older it's like 1/80th. So like time experiences totally differently. And for me, it's made me realize one of the saddest things is seeing your parents get older.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that to say my parents are old, but it's just like, it's the reality, and it just makes me realize how precious time is.
No, I get that. Like my wee gran as well. My gran was 90 this year, and we actually made a point of being back in Scotland for her birthday because that was quite a big thing for me. I've always said that my gran is super young for her age. Like even for 90, she's still super duper fit. She's like the coolest 90-year-old that I know. But definitely us being away has kind of made me more aware of that.
Yeah.
As well, like making sure that when my mum's with my gran, I'm making a point of FaceTiming her and chatting to her.
Yeah, because when you are at home and you've got all those things in abundance and it's there,
You almost take it for granted.
take it for granted, and then it's not until you're away you realize the importance of it. So yeah, man, there's so many things you need to stay accountable to, and I think as soon as one area gets better, another area gets neglected as well. So yeah, I'm grateful because a lot of my best mates are all floating about.
Grant's nearer to us now, he's in Australia.
I know, I don't speak to him as much. Same time zone. He's grafting right now. But yeah, what have you got any questions?
What were you most scared of before we came away?
I wasn't scared in.
You
Like,
know,
I honestly like wasn't like, I'm not saying that in a way like I fear nothing. Like I'm very aware of like there's so many fears, but I had absolutely no fear. The only fear I probably had was limiting beliefs around our ability in business. Nothing to do with like my personal or like things that I couldn't do. I genuinely like, see, if I just give me time, give me focus, I'll make it happen. Like I'm not worried about something not happening. But I didn't realize how many limiting beliefs I still had about business that I didn't think I had. We can only work with people from this country. People will think when we go away, you won't get this, or like you won't do that. Like, it's bullshit. It's just nonsense. Like, no one, we've had clients, loads of clients come in this year and they don't know anything different. They only know us as what we do now. And the clients, the OGs that have hung about, have just got with the program. And if anything, we have got better because I'm more happy. I'm happier. I'm more fulfilled. Like they're getting a better version of me. And that is the biggest thing that I didn't realize. Like I was making this story in my mind that, oh, like this and that, and people won't want to do that. And I didn't really give it the time, or I didn't really like, I understood it, but I was like, God, this is pretty loud in my head right now. Like, why? It's crazy. How about you?
Yeah, I was exactly the same. I think I was telling myself a wee story. And I think any time that we did this before we came to Bali for like maybe like a month at a time, I know the first time we did it, I had my own business and you had Project Level Up at the time. Then the second time we came, that's when we decided we were going to merge businesses, but we still had our own businesses. But I had almost convinced myself, well, what if clients just think that we're going on holiday? What if like potential prospects, people on the outside think that we're just on holiday and that people think that our life's too good, and like loads of like stupid stories that don't even make sense. Because as you said, I think what it's done for us and what it's done for a lot of our clients is actually showed a lot of the clients that we have in the UK what actually is possible outside of the UK. And we've actually had so many clients now that have actually committed to doing what we're doing. We've got 2 clients that are a couple in Vietnam away traveling Southeast Asia with their kids, which is the coolest thing ever, and it's actually really inspired me. We've got 2 clients that are going to be coming out here to Bali, actually 3 clients coming out here to Bali at the end of this month, beginning of next month, and others 2 clients that are going to be heading to Australia later on next year. We've got
as well.
Yep. Heading to Vietnam. We've got clients that now are in Brazil, like all over. And I think if anything, it's only just actually really, really leveled them up into what's possible and really made it more than just fitness. I think that's what's really happened for us. It's really, really evolved what we do.
Yeah, because it's really allowed us to show this is how we live a life. And one of the things we recurrently get, and even like when we're talking to people that are inquiring on Instagram and chatting through, and you had a call last week with someone and it was like, I just really want to live a life like you're living. And I think if anything, it's really allowed us to actually really understand what a personal brand is. Like I really get what a personal brand is now. Like at first I used to hear that and I'd be like, what's personal brand? And I'm like, now I'm like, personal brand is like folk seeing you doing the thing that you do, all the little nuances behind the scenes, and it's been great, man. And I don't even have those thoughts anymore. And if I ever do, I don't even give them the time. I'm like, that's just nonsense. Like, and they always come up, man, when things aren't going to plan. How has it impacted business in your opinion?
I think it's been great, especially when we've been in Southeast Asia. We've always said that whenever we went back to Scotland, it's probably when our businesses suffered a bit, and it's probably because, again, we've not been at our best. The last time we went back to Scotland, I actually had a great time. And it's funny because that was probably the time that I've been looking least forward to come back. But we went back, the weather was nice, we had loads of stuff planned, we had a client event. We actually had 2 client events because we had the RTL event. I raced the Scottish Half Marathon. You had a race, what was your race called?
100%.
Yeah, we had my grand's 90th, and the 3 weeks actually went in really, really fast. But I think that definitely any time that we're in a hot climate, we're living a life that we really want to live, then we show up better. And I think it's massively shown in how the business performs as well.
Personal one for me in business is it's highlighted what's required for the business to do well. That's what it's done for me. So for example, when I was back home and you're just in this like Groundhog Day, which is great, you're in a good routine, without realizing, you can always talk about it in gears. You've got gear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone wants to be in gear 5 all the time. The reality is you're probably not going to be in gear 5 all the time, but the sweet spot is floating between 3 and 5. But when you do the same thing all the time, without realizing it, things can drift and slide away, and you can just slowly just drift. And before you know it, you're in gear 2. And you still get the best intentions. You're still saying you're doing all the thing, but because you're not that experienced, you think you're doing more than you actually are. And then you're scratching your head going, why is things not growing? Why is clients not getting good results? Why am I not feeling fulfilled? But actually, you're just in Groundhog Day and you've let things slide. Whereas for me, traveling has made me reset every single time. And I know exactly what the standard is for me to perform well, for clients to perform well, for the business to grow, for marketing to do well, for creativity to be high. And I just know exactly what that is as a result of being in forever changing environments. And it's taught me a lot. And the biggest thing it's taught me is that most people think what they're doing is enough to grow, to evolve, to be the leader they want to be in their business. And it's just not.
And in their health and fitness, I think the same thing goes there as well. So many people stagnate and they're like, I'm doing the thing, but they don't actually realise that they're not. And I think even for us, like being in the different environments from a fitness standpoint, we've learned so much as well. And it's massively made me level up here, I think, more than anything. It's being in so many different training environments, dealing with different climates, even humidity. Like we were in Bangkok last week, and the difference in the humidity there versus being here in Bali, when we came back, I was like, whoa, I didn't appreciate how humid it was, and the impact that even that's having in my training. It's taught me to be a lot kinder to myself, a lot more patient. It's taught us a hell of a lot about nutrition around about training, things that we thought that we were doing, but we were skimming, just not eating enough around about sessions, not eating enough during big sessions, hydration.
It's mad.
It's exposed so many things.
We can be at a point now where you know that a certain taste in your mouth means that you need more iron. Like that is where we're at now, because the heat just exposes everything. And that is the thing. A lot of folk are complacent. They're comfortably uncomfortable in their life. And they're like, I'm doing enough. I'm like, look, I'm not saying that you're not showing up for yourself. I'm not saying that you're not trying to push and grow your business. I'm not saying that your intentions are in the wrong place. But where you think you are is here, but you're actually down here. And what's actually required to grow is here. And there's this huge gap. And because weeks and months have went by of you doing the same thing and not actually assessing, looking at ways to be better, you've just slowly went down to here. But then you're like, I'm up here.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, you're not. Like, you are not doing what is required to grow. You're not doing what's required to evolve. You're not doing what's required to get you the goals that you want in your life. And a lot of people are not good at realizing that, because they think when you're saying that, they're like, I'm doing bad. And you're like, no, you're not doing bad. You're just not doing enough to get the type of the results you want. And the question you really need to be asking yourself, if you're in this point right now, is do your behaviors, does your thought process, and does your internal dialogue reflect the type of results that you want?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Folk are like, oh, yeah, but yes or no?
If you can't answer it,
you can't answer it. It's a no, right? If it's a dead certain yes, then you're doing the right things. And a lot of folk are like, oh yeah, And it's like, well, if it's a no, what are the areas that if someone was to come in from the outside and spend a day with you, if I was to come and spend a day with you, what would I highlight? If I highlighted that thing, go and fix that and you'll get better results. You'll get better, your body will get better, your business will get better. Just go and focus on those things before going, no, it's good. It's good.
I love that question though, because when you ask that question, people will tell you it's good. Then you ask that question and they're like, oh, and there's like a list as long as their arm.
I thought that. Well, if you say it that way, man, I would hate that. I would hate if you came and spent the week with me. There's a lot of folk that would love it as well, man. A few OG clients, man, would be like,
buzz it.
Count me in, man. What challenges has it created for you?
Well, in what ways?
Anyway.
Definitely the training one that I just mentioned when we first came out here. I was obviously training for Boston Marathon and I totally underestimated how much the heat was going to have an impact on my training. I'd obviously set a big goal for Boston Marathon. We've been out here previously twice. We've trained in other hot climates, but when we've been out here in the past, I was just getting into my running, so I probably wasn't as dialed in with understanding my numbers and my heart rate. I was more just working off of feel. So when we came out here and I really struggled initially with adapting to the heat. I was also having a lot of problems with my stomach. It didn't create a challenge. I created a challenge for myself because my mindset was absolutely dog shit around about it. And then by me getting in my head, getting so frustrated, that probably then affected how quickly I was actually able to adapt to the heat. I convinced myself that the treadmills here were uncalibrated and they were slower.
Them now.
I love them. I actually do love them. And I'm running like as fast as what I was.
Faster.
At home, well, on the treadmills, I don't know if I'm running faster. Running faster the last time I was here, definitely. There's nothing wrong with the treadmills. So definitely that, but again, like that's massively grown me. In terms of outside of training, what challenges? There's been quite a lot. I think probably it's been so long. I think for us, there's been so many things that we've fucked up along the way, like challenges that have actually been our fault, booking the wrong flights. Like we booked a couple of high Roxies that in hindsight we probably shouldn't have booked, Hong Kong that we had to cancel, and then committing to doing high rocks in Germany. We didn't really fully think it through, having to then travel from Dubai to here to Dubai to Germany. You'd injured yourself, but we decided that we were still going to go and do it anyway. You booked the flights on the wrong day to go to Germany as well, which obviously cost us a lot of money because we then had to rebook Emirates flights for the next day. So yeah, there's been a lot of things along the way. Even America was a lot more expensive than what we thought it was going to be. We totally underestimated that.
The biggest challenge is living out of a suitcase when you're in the West.
Yeah.
Because it's not cheap.
Yeah.
And it's
you put that into better words than me.
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge. And the biggest challenge that me and you spoke about is that you're at the mercy of large companies all the time because you don't have a home and you don't have this like base. So like you have to rely on like some company, an Airbnb, a flight company, an insurance company,
the bank gets shut. You had to fly to Dubai.
Oh man, so many things, and it's made me realize that like, yeah, you have this like freedom and independence, but like if you cut away the base, it creates like a lot of discrepancies to the point that it's like you don't realize how important it is to have that. Like we still have a home registered in the UK, we're landlords, but like
not having an address, like I didn't appreciate, like there's that advert on the telly, no home, no bank account, no what is it, how does it go? But actually
two
like
bank accounts shut down.
Yeah.
We got them fixed.
Even trying to get insurance, like without an address, there was only one company that we could go with.
Yeah. Loads of them that coin themselves as nomad insurance. Then they're like, what country are you staying in? I'm like, that's not
What's
a
your
nomad.
Address? 1 month and there's only 1 month.
And you're like, that's not a nomad. It's like a nomad, someone that just cuts about. But
we
then
actually didn't have insurance for like the first 6 months that we did this.
I know. Well, you speak to a lot of people and they're like, I don't have insurance.
Don't believe in it.
Someone said that. I don't believe in insurance. I was like, what do you mean you don't? Because you're like creating, like, you're then going to make something happen. And I'm like, That's actually so stupid. Like, that's so stupid. Like, why do you even think that? I'm all about manifestation and the law of abundance, but like, insurance is like a really good thing. If you're flying a lot, you can lose luggage.
Yeah.
Like, that's not like I'll manifest it. Like, that can genuinely happen. Like, I'm waiting on it to happen. We fly a lot.
Touch wood or hairy wood.
We came into the airport the other night, and for the first time ever, we got a full search done.
Hustled.
We got hustled, man. Like, it was an operation, wasn't it? Like, we're walking out of the airport, and I've always said to Eilidh, we're gonna get pulled up one day for having hundreds of creatine, because we've got loads of creatine and loads of like supplements, electrolytes, and we would buy them in different countries. Like, last time we were here, we both learned that we have certain ones that we like and certain things. So anytime we were like in the West, and like we'll grab certain things and we'll carry it, and we'll just pay for extra luggage if we need it. And I was always like, at first, taking bags of powder, it's a bit dodgy. Well, anyway, like, think of the profile. We've just been in Bali. We've just flew to Bangkok for 7 days. We're not from Bali or Bangkok. Then 7 days later, we flew back into the country with another flight out in like a month. And then they're like, it's just this, there must be this like red flag profile. And then like 2 white people come through the airport, like, we're on our holiday. And then like you come through, and we were going right to the end, and I had this mad feeling, because I've been following this guy that's actually on this island, and he spent time in a Thai prison, and he's telling his story, and I've been watching one of his reels, and it's gruesome. And there's a prison here that's pretty gruesome as well, isn't there? Is it the K Hotel?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks horrible. I've drove past it so many times, like, oh, that's awful. And I had this like weird feeling going, what if something was in my bag, or someone put something in there? Anyway, I never gave it, I didn't vocalize it, because I don't vocalize thoughts that are like stupid, right? And we came back, and they went like to us right at the end of the bit, nothing to declare. So we've been through, got our bags and everything, went through immigration and all that. I was like, this is fine. And the guy's like to us, use over there. And I was like, must be a random check.
And they do random checks.
They do random checks. But then as we were going through, the woman's looking at us, and like, we have literally came into the country. The woman goes, where are you from? And I'm like,
how many of you are traveling?
And how many of you are traveling? And she's not speaking to anyone else.
Where have you been?
Where have you been? And then
when are you leaving?
When are you leaving? Then I was like, okay. And then she's like, what on a walkie-talkie, just looking at me. And
our
like,
bags are going back and forward.
Bags are going back and forward. And I'm like, what is going on here? And I'm looking over to the left, and there was like a ton of guys just lined up. And I'm like, is something going to happen here?
The people in front of us had just popped through. There was like another scanner to the side of us, and people were just popping through.
And we take our bags off, and then we're walking away, and we're like, see you later then. And then they go, can you go over there, please? And I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? I feel like I'm on this like nothing to declare program. And then they went over, and they're like, can you? And I'm so nervous. In the middle
of the airport.
I'm so nervous. Like, I'm sitting going like, what if someone's put cocaine in my bag?
That's what I was
like,
thinking.
What if someone's put like a big like statue with like full of heroin? Like, what happens if that's in my bag? And then I was like, open it up, and then they were like, then the guy like goes straight for this thing, and it's a bag of creatine, and I just started laughing. I went, I was waiting on the day that this was going to happen with this creatine, man. Anyway, we got away. It was full of cocaine. No, it wasn't full of cocaine. Like, but yeah, it was mad though. But it really it gave me the sort of shits that like, imagine there was something that like wrongfully happened. Like, you're in these countries that like don't have the same justice system as. I spoke about this once on a YouTube before. Like, you're kind of at the discrepancy of other countries that like don't do things that, let's say, how they do them in the UK. I watched a documentary last night about a guy that went to a prison in Ecuador. I'm pure fascinated by prisons in other countries. The UK seems to be the best place to go to prison.
Seems quite nice in UK.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think there's like Dutch prisons that look pretty good, man. I'd go to a Dutch prison. Like, so if I can get extradited, I'll go to a Dutch prison. Or
I feel like Sarah Jane Connor.
Yeah. Sarah, if anyone doesn't know who Sarah Jane Connor is, I always call Eilidh that. She's go and watch The Terminator. That's what Eilidh's like. And yeah, man, I think like going to Berlin would be quite nice compared to K Hotel or the Bangkok Hilton. They look terrifying, man. But yeah, so yeah, we didn't get done for international drug smuggling, which was pretty good. So that was an experience. But there's a good lesson in that as well. You know, I love always extracting a lesson from absolutely everything. But the longer you do something, the higher probability and likelihood of something happening that you don't want to happen. Mm-hmm. So like the longer you train, the longer you push in business, the longer you, I don't know, commit to like a process. Like, you're delusional if you commit to a long process to believe nothing's going to happen. How many folk do this when they try and get in good shape? Oh man, fuck my diet. If this didn't happen, I'd be here. And it's like, but it did. Deal with it. You need to do it. Stop trying to fight it. Stop thinking that nothing was going to happen over this like 20-week agreed period. It doesn't work like that.
It's the same in like a marathon block or an
Yep.
Ironman block. The only person that ever proved that wrong was Travis Brown when you said to him, something's going to happen and you're going to miss a session.
Yeah.
And
He
I
missed
think,
one session.
Yeah.
You
You're
missed-
never going to let him live that
you
down.
missed one session if you're watching this right now. No, he's an absolute savage, and I need to give him credit and a shout out because he got a 56-minute high rocks at the weekend
Insane.
by himself, like not with someone else. Like he's an elite human, so massive respect, mate. So proud of you. And yeah, on to the next one. What has it made you realize that you were previously doing something that wasn't good for you?
Ooh. Watching telly in bed. Massively. Like anywhere that we've been. I don't even think in Scotland, when we were back in the Airbnb there, that we had a telly in the bedroom. Anywhere that we've been now, we've only been places where there's been a telly in the living room.
Yeah.
And it's really made a big difference that we used to.
Telly, it's just so funny. You've just got wee Scottish words that you say.
What would you say? Television.
TV.
What's the difference?
Eilidh says messages. She still says it. She actually is like, I need to go and get the messages. I was like, that's such granny butter, man.
Rachel's always thought I meant replying to clients when we were in the retreat. I was like, no, the shopping.
It's so random, the messages. It's such a random thing to say. But yeah,
like we've really been forced into not watching telly in bed because we've never actually had a telly, but we were actually quite bad for when we had a house in Scotland. We've been like, oh, we don't watch that much telly, but we would fall asleep all the time in bed watching shite in the telly.
yeah. And that's such an important time, man. The end of the night and the start of the day. And we were good for not having our phones. We've not had our phones in a room in such a long time. We don't use them. We've really drilled that good behavior.
Mhm.
Like that's like a really good habit. But then it's like, it's no different to flicker. It's just a bigger screen. Like, you just can't sweep about on it, man, with your thumb. I would say for me, processed food.
Yeah.
It's made me spending so much time in different countries with different nutrition and availability for things. It makes me realize how bad nutrition is in the West, because there's obviously poor quality foods here and there's processed foods. You can go into a shop, but it's not that good.
You
It's
don't
just-
want to buy it.
No, I buy it.
Looks
Like
horrible.
what's a Van Houten, the chocolate bar. Get
You
a
do
couple
like
of-
those wee jelly sweets.
The jelly sweets are delicious. It's delightful. Probably made with someone's feet in a flip flop somewhere, man.
It was
But they're tasty.
Very evident though after being here and then flying back to the UK and then America. America was even
Whoa.
scarier, that when you went into the supermarkets, it was literally in your face, like driving down the streets and there's signs for processed food everywhere. It was just a lot harder to eat out. In America, I ordered one day healthy protein pancakes and it came and the pancake was like
Because it
that
was made
size.
with eggs.
It came with like fried crispy bacon, a lump of butter on
But
top.
it was because it was made with
Syrup.
eggs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was made with eggs, and they were like, "Yeah, it's got egg white in it as well. That's why it's
You had
healthy."
more egg white than...
Yes, it's healthy. We've put more egg white in it. Still got the egg yolk. Still got everything we do. We've actually increased the calories of it, but it's healthy. Remember that woman we went for a tour the other day in Thailand? She kept saying healthy.
It was all
Because
like deep
It was
fried.
vegetarian food. She just kept going, "Yeah, it's really healthy," and I was like, "This food isn't healthy, man. Like, what is this definition of healthy? It's just, yeah,
Vegetables?
it's got vegetables in it, but it's coated in about a litre of oil. And, like, it's probably been cooked in like some sort of mad, like vegetable oil or something, man. Like some sort of, what do they call it? Polyglyceride? Or is that? Am I making stuff up here? What, trans fats?
Yeah.
Crappy oil.
You just say words now.
Yeah, try to sound like a coach. Like I know what I'm talking about.
Seed oil.
Seed oil. Couldn't get that out there.
What's really changed then since you've stepped into being in more environments with less processed food? How's that changed your relationship with food?
I don't want to do it as much. I just don't want to do it as much. Like when it's not there and it's not in abundance, I just don't want to do it as much. And then there's even parts of me, don't get me wrong, I'll still eat processed food. I'll still have a cookie. I'll still have like, I go through ebbs and flows depending on where I'm at. Like food for me is a big vice in my life and I have to really work on it. So if I'm a little bit more low, energy's down, injured, things aren't happening, that's when the intention to do that and the frequency goes up. But even still, it's not even that high. I mean, you were saying that. It's like we've been together. Obviously, this is 1 year of traveling, but we're actually been together 9 years this month as well, which is mad. And it was so funny what like an off day of nutrition was for us at the weekend. So Saturday, I did have quite a few beers, But minus the beers, if we actually looked at our eating, what did we have? We ate at some street food vendors. We went for it was almost like we're going to get a mango sticky rice, as if it was like going to get a chippy. Oh, we're going to get a mango sticky rice. And it's like, yeah, we ate a good amount of food and we ate a lot of calories that day. But like
prawn dumplings.
yeah, I don't want to eat foods they don't make me feel good, man. Like, and I like a sweetie. I do love a sweetie.
You like a cookie.
But and I like a cookie. But I don't eat things in gluttony anymore. Like a long time ago, man. Like not even that long ago. Like recent years, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, I would like slam a box of cookies. Like that would be whereas I just wouldn't even think of doing something like that now. So the more time I've spent in places with less processed foods, when I'm then presented with it more, I just don't want to do it as much.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say to you sometimes like when I go and get this, then I just go, I actually don't want that. Like
you
I
like the idea of it better.
I like
than
the
actually...
idea of it better than actually doing it. And I think this is it. A lot of folk are very black and white with their nutrition. And they want this like answer, like how do I do this? And it's a relationship, man. Like it's like saying, how do I feel amazingly happy in my relationship with my wife 247? It's like I don't know. Like it's what folk want with nutrition. They're like, what would I do? What do you eat? And it's like it doesn't work like that. You need to work it. You need to recognize what you're doing. You need to step up and be a bit more conscious. And it's made me a lot more conscious.
I think a lot of food is feeling as well, but people are so in the moment with the feeling rather than longer term.
Yeah.
With it. Mm-hmm. Very, very reactive with it. How's this going to make me feel right now?
Yeah.
Makes you feel better. It's soothing. It's comforting.
Programming, isn't it? It's just programming from a young age and habits and behaviours and beliefs you built up over a long period of time. You kind of touched base on this already about the performance one, and I didn't really give anything to it. You said about like, because that was one of my questions, like what kind of impact did it have on your performance? And I didn't really give my sort of part on it, but I would honestly say for me, it's been the first time in a while, and I will zoom out and go into this a little bit more because I was talking to a client about it the other day. I was talking to Anthony about it. It's probably been a year that I've not loved training as much. And that's for a lot of different things. If I actually zoom out, I actually had like 2 years of being in like a pressure cooker from the Keltman right through to like going traveling. Like I just hadn't took my foot off the gas and I was just in this like high frequency of like doing a lot of training for a very long period of time. So I think I kind of exhausted myself for like 2 years of like really big weeks consistently for like 2 years. And I've been the odd week in that, but genuinely speaking, like you're talking like 13-hour weeks for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. Like it was a lot, man. So I think that, and then I felt a lot of confliction at the beginning because I probably underestimated how much I was in a good flow with training, knowing exactly where the gym was, not like see the house and like everything. So then training High Rocks was like my priority. So if I look at the 3 priorities from training from an actual performance standpoint, it was High Rocks, running, lifting. That was the priority order, and I was all in on it. And then as soon as I went away and we were going to different gyms all the time, and then I was like, High Rocks is really hard to train and move about all the time. Like even if you're here, there is people that do it well here, but like I actually heard someone say recently, this isn't the place to be if you want to do well at High Rocks. And it like that just transcends into a lot of different areas. And this isn't an excuse, it's not a reason, but our coach John, who's 5th in the world at High Rocks, said to me one day, I don't know how you guys do it. And I was like, I needed to hear that because I was giving myself such a hard time. But what it actually made me go through is because for like 6 months, I was fighting myself in my head going, I need to be here. And I actually exhausted myself through, I really lost my love for training. Then I had an injury. And it was just a year where there's been a lot of consecutive things happen. And then being back out here, I had some stomach issues for a while. And then my injury, my rehab took a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. And then my running didn't get back to where I thought it would be as quick because I took like 5 months off of it. And I just feel like this year, like I feel like I lost a lot of confidence in myself. Mm-hmm. Like I felt like unbeatable. Is that the word? Yeah. Like hard to beat, man. Like really, really hard to beat. Like you could throw anything at me. And I would say this year I've got a bit soft. Not actually like physically soft, but mentally soft. Because I feel like I really, really was throwing the kitchen sink at it. And I don't even think it's anything to do with like the way that I'm looking. Obviously there's a part that the way that I'm looking at it, but a series of things not going to plan for like a long period of time wore me down. And I feel like I'm still trying to get back to my very best self when I just feel tenacious with everything I do, because I don't feel
I
like
think
I've had
as well, something that we spoke about is that your priorities have changed a wee bit as well, with actually like business, and realising that you want to step up more in business, and in order to do that, it's hard to train at the volume and intensity that we were training at, and kind of trialing out different ways of actually how we train and how we map out our training, and how it actually works from a recovery standpoint as well. Because something that me and you have noticed, even back when we were in our own environment in Scotland, where it was very, very consistent, is how different that we both recovered. And it's funny because me being a female on paper probably shouldn't have recovered as well from the style of training that we were doing, but I was recovering way better, way faster, way quicker than you. We were eating pretty much the same diet, because I was sorting all of the, given that you were eating bigger portions than me, but I was sorting all of the food. Like, we were training very, very similarly, given that some runs might be a bit different when we had slightly different goals. Like, we were in the same sleeping routine. We were drinking similar amounts of like caffeine a day, water, like all the little 1% variables, but yet we were both recovering very, very differently.
Because I've realised, like, I feel like I'm getting slammed, like, because of the frequency I operate at. Like, even stuff like this, like, me and Eilidh often talk about Eilidh's dyslexic, like, diagnosed, but I'm 99.9% sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Yeah, very sure I'm dyslexic. So even like the fact that like I've ramped up a lot more content, I don't think people sometimes say to me, they're like, you're really naturally good at speaking. And I'm like, you don't even know how hard I need to try. Like, this stuff like this is easy for me. It's very natural for me to sit in a room and have a conversation, and I've worked hard and developed certain communication skills and how to speak and how to explain things, and I can do it good with clients. But see, trying to get something in a flow from like even like a marketing standpoint, and because we've developed the brand so much this year, I'm doing consistent YouTubes, doing all this stuff, it actually takes so much out of me. Like, I'm really, really tired, and you see it sometimes where it's like, I'm like it's so tired. Like, and I feel good that I'm looking after myself, but then actually I've not been fully aligned with my goals because of the shifts in sort of injuries and stuff. And then also on top of that, we've really pushed and changed the sort of direction of our business, who we work with, our goals, our targets, what we want. And then it's just been this sort of year for me where it's been like, we've made a lot of changes in lifestyle, in training. I've had a lot of limiting factors, and now business is like ramping up more. And I'm like, I'm grateful for that. But then it's actually had me in this sort of spot of like, it's only been recently that I've kind of went, right, what is my identity is like, for training? Because I train as part of my life. And when you train this much, there has to be a why behind it. And my why was, I am the everyday athlete that leads from the front and ready for anything, which I still am, but it's like, no, I'm the high performance business owner. And that has been the big paradigm shift for me. And I know to someone else from the outside in, they're like, you haven't changed anything. It's like, yeah, but I've changed how I'm looking at it, because how I was looking at it was creating so much frustration for me in my mind. And I'm training a little bit less than what I was, still a high amount if someone was to look at it. But it was just all these like 1%. And I spoke to our clients about it recently in a call, and I actually said, like, if you are not like fully aligned with the type of goal you're trying to chase down, Lewis said it recently, alignment beats the goals when the goals are not aligned. And I was like, oh, I spoke to my soul, man. Like, that, I really get that, because you can be going, I've set this goal and I've done this thing. It's like, yeah, what type of result are you trying to get? It's the same, folk do this for a transformation. It's like, I can't do that right now. It's like, are you trying to step on a stage, or are you trying to just drop 20 pounds? Because you could actually easily lose 20 pounds right now based on where you're at if you just do this. But if you're trying to do it the way that like a competitive bodybuilder would do it, there's a lot of things that would probably need to change. You can get great result doing it the other way. What do you want? And it's like, I didn't look at it like that. So it's like alignment to the thing that you want, because a lot of words that people say, people don't attach any meaning to it. I'll use the example of a night out. Forgot I'm going on a night out. It's like, what does that mean? To someone, it could mean a glass of wine. To someone else, it could mean
going to a rave and getting on it for 2 days.
Yeah, literally hauling drugs in the airport back to Bali. Like, lost. Like, how did I end up in Ecuador, man? Like, that is it. It's just a word. Night out, 2 words. It's an expression. It's like, what does that mean? A lot of folk don't like, I'm just going to like, just not really care about my nutrition this weekend. It's like, what does that mean? Does that mean that you're going to deliberately sabotage yourself? Or is that meaning that you're going to literally not be as stringent in one area as what you have been?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? People just don't attach any meaning to words. They say a word and then they sabotage themselves. And for me, that word in my training, it's like, right, who am I? What am I trying to do here? Because when you do anything seriously, like we do with life, training, relationships, everything that we put our mind to, we put 110% in. You need to be clear on, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're just being like that. And that's probably what I felt like for 6 months. I was like, in Malta, I was like, I just want to get my love back for training. I just hate training right now.
And it's been hard because I felt guilty in ways, because for me, it's been the best year that I've ever had in training, and not the best year from when we started, because if you actually look back, like I was crying in sessions when we were here, like I was having a lot of frustration, like the start of the year, probably from like the November time all the way until we went back to Scotland in March. Like hated training when I was like starting to kind of push towards Boston Marathon. But then when we got back to Scotland, I think for me what it really, really did was it made me speak to myself differently in training. It opened up to my eyes to actually what training in the heat had done. Going and doing Boston Marathon, actually I proved to myself that I did something that I didn't think I was going to be able to do. I'd set a goal of a 3:10. I didn't hit 3:10, but I did a 3:12:57. I was actually having like thoughts of, am I even going to be able to run a marathon as fast as what I did at London? Never mind, am I going to get a massive PB like that? It's the first time I've ever ran a marathon or done any event and finished and actually cried because I was so proud of myself for what I've done. And that unlocked a lot. But I think as well, being in a lot of different environments has really actually made me lean in more to my nutrition, my hydration. So for me, I've actually really, really leveled up in other areas where I was maybe previously letting myself off the hook, not feeling enough around about sessions, like little small minute things that I was kind of telling myself I was doing enough where actually I wasn't. But I think probably the biggest difference between me and you is that you being the man in the business. And I think this applies to like a lot of different areas in life and relationships, is that you probably carry a bit more stress, and that you're the one that deals with all the money. You're the one that, like, if there's any real challenging conversations, like you're the one that kind of tends to deal with a lot more of that. So you probably actually carry a lot more stress in business than what I actually do. It's not to say that there aren't stressful times in me coaching as well, but I think probably in hindsight,
me and Lewis call
you
it
get
the
slammed with it.
The pain helmet. We call it the pain helmet. I chose to wear it, and I'm happy about that. But the wee red light's on right now, and that signifies the end of our slot in this podcast studio.
Damn it.
I know, but I feel like we covered a lot of good stuff there. And guys, I hope you really enjoyed the episode. I hope you really took a lot away from it. If you're someone that is an aspiring traveler, aspiring digital nomad, feel free to shoot us a message on Instagram if you have any questions whatsoever. And make sure that you have subscribed to the channel. Anyway, see you later. Goodbye.